الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. Again, we are here by God's grace, and this is a huge blessing, and He blesses us so many different ways, and so we just don't have the strength and the will and the power to be grateful enough to Him, and that is a fact. Okay, so no matter how we try, we cannot achieve it. It's just not enough. Okay, if we wanted to count God's blessings, we would never be able to. And so this is a really unique opportunity for us to basically commemorate Him today and extol His name and make sure that we are getting closer to our Creator, which is the most important thing that we can do. And so I always say gratefulness is a godlike quality, and so we have to follow the path of God, and which is the only path available, by the way. There are no other paths. So make sure that we understand it and always strive in that cause, that we follow His path and be grateful to Him in return. And so we should strive in this cause and make sure that we understand this huge blessing that God has given us, for example, right now, today. Anyway, today what I really want to talk about, I'm just talking about gratefulness and appreciativeness, okay? It goes well beyond that. It goes, God is saying to us, He says, it's a commandment from God. He says that, be grateful to me and to your parents. Okay, there's a commandment. So it's just not the fact that that we are appreciative of what God is, and we have to. There is no other way. Okay, but also there are other people who do good things to us, and we should keep that in mind, that we have to be appreciative to them. Okay, appreciativeness and thankfulness and gratefulness is a godlike quality. Okay, remember that. It's a godlike quality. Okay. If you do something to help somebody, that person should be appreciative of that fact. If you're doing something that eases that task, they should be appreciative to you. If they are unappreciative, that's a satanic quality. That is not good. We cannot succeed by doing that. We have to make sure that we give credit where the credit is due. Okay. Somebody is helping you, you should be grateful to that person. It's a nice thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's a godly thing to do above all else. So we should strive in that cause. If we are not grateful, that's a satanic trait that we have inside of us. Okay. Some people are so ungrateful that not only that, they actually want to somehow say that the reason that He helped me was because of this, because He wanted something in return. Something that could be absolutely altruistic. That you were doing that in the cause of good. You are helping somebody in the cause of good. And that person then turns around and thinks that you are doing this because of X, Y, and Z. Okay. Not only that person is not grateful of what you've done for him, then he's also suspicious, which is sinful. That's what God says. Do not be suspicious, because even a little bit of suspicion is sinful. Avoid it. So one sin after another one just keeps piling up. As I said, ungratefulness is a satanic quality.
Ungratefulness is a satanic quality.
Okay, so let me get back to it again. Okay, as I said, is that gratefulness is a godlike quality, and we have to follow the path of God. We have no other choice. Okay, God is grateful to us, to every individual, for what you are doing in His cause. Okay, can you imagine that? He gives you all the tools. He gives you all the tools. He says, when you threw, it wasn't you who threw, it was I who threw. Okay? He gives you that power that you throw. Whatever it is, it's a baseball or whatever it is, a football or whatever it is, it's not you who is doing that. That thing can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye. The ball doesn't go to the same place it used to go. And you were the same person. You haven't changed. But that can be taken away in a blink of an eye. It's God who is doing that. And we have to be grateful to the source. If somebody is taking care of you and gives you love, you have to be grateful to that person. If somebody is easing your task, if that person is doing the stuff that you're supposed to do and he is doing it for you, you are supposed to be grateful to that person. Okay? Some people even steal it. Say, oh, yeah, I've done it. They go tell other people, so they also add a lie to it. So it's one sin after another just keeps piling up. Okay? It's a snowball effect. It never ends. And before you know it, you'll be Satan 2.0. Okay? Just like him. And when push comes to shove, they're going to turn their back to you. Just like he did. I just called you, you just followed me. It wasn't my fault. Okay? Those people who are grateful, in a blink of an eye, they are going to turn their back to you. If you become in need of something, they will never help you. Okay? That's the difference between somebody who's grateful and somebody who's not grateful. Person who's grateful he is following or she is following a godlike quality. Recognizes it. Recognizes the help of somebody, assistance of somebody, somebody who cares for you. Okay? Somebody who makes sure that things are normal for you. Not to turn around and do exactly the opposite of that. It means that I don't care what you have done for me. This is what I'm going to do to you. Okay? That's exactly what Satan does. So we cannot follow those kind of ways and paths. As I said, there are no other paths. It's only the path of God. And part of it, and you can read the Quran, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Maybe you'll become grateful. Maybe you'll become appreciative. do this, then you'll become appreciative. Over and over and over and over. Okay. Give the credit where the credit is due. It's the right thing to do. It's not going to take away anything from you. The other way is going to take the things away from you. Finally, it's going to come out. Now, remember, if it doesn't come out in this world, don't worry about it. It's going to be on the day of judgment in front of everybody. Remember that guy who helped you and you turn your back to him as though that he hasn't done anything for you? And everybody in God's creation is going to see that guy, and he is going to be humiliated on the day of judgment. That's what God says to us. God warns us about these things. These are not good things to do. Acknowledge when somebody is doing something good for you. Goes out of his way or her way to make sure that things are going smoothly for you. They won't have any problems. And you have to return in kind. Okay? You have to make sure that you also do the same thing. That you help that person when he or she needs the help. I say it's not a one-way street. God says most of them are ungrateful. And that's exactly what Satan says. You will find most of them ungrateful. So it wouldn't work. It's not a one-way street. When God is grateful to us, we have to return in kind. We have to make sure that we are grateful to God. When somebody does something good to us, we have to return in kind. We have to make sure that we are grateful to that person. And if that person needs help in the future, you are going to go and help that person. Okay? God says, do it anyway. Do the helping of somebody who's needy anyway. But those people who follow the ways of Satan, what they do is they do the opposite. Even the guy who's helping him, if he becomes despondent and he becomes in need of something, they will turn their back to him. That's how bad it is. So again, make sure that you are grateful to what somebody does for you. There is nothing wrong with it, because God is grateful to us. Okay? It's a good thing to do. It's goodness. God says He's the source of goodness. Okay? If you do something, like suppose you went to someplace, okay, or do work or something like that. You work and carry the work of other people who are sloughing off, doing nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. There are a lot of those people, okay? Taking water cooler break and gossip and everything, and they don't do any useful work. But there's some guy who is like a busy bee, just going around, buzzing around, and doing everything and their work too. When push comes to shove, you know what happens in this world? Okay? They're actually going to turn around and take the credit for what you have done. Now, on the other hand, somebody who is following the path of God is going to act exactly the same way that God is telling them to act. Be grateful. Okay? Thank Him. If He needs something, help Him. Okay? So you see the audacity of this situation. And then, how would God says, these are the people who hurt God and His messenger. That's what God says. How can you hurt God? You can. Okay? You think God really likes it? When God is doing everything for this person, resolving his issues and everything. And all of a sudden he just turns around, and for his mistakes he blames it on God, like Satan did. Okay? It was your fault. You don't have mutual blaming on their judgment. It was your fault, this and this. God says, don't talk to me in front of me. Okay? So we have to make sure of this, that we are grateful enough to be worthy of going to paradise and spend eternity with God. Okay. So cogitate on what I'm saying and think deeply. Okay. Read the Quran frequently. And so then we'll become better people. We become somebody who's closer to God. And that should be our final objective. The utmost objective that we have is exactly that. Okay. I'm going to stop here and we'll finish the second. I'll get here.